What's going on, YouTube? Good evening. If you're back in the States, good morning. If you're on my side of the earth, how everybody doing, man? We got 17 watching right now. Please hit that like button on the way in. And shout out to my moderators, man. It's the links to the TikTok, Instagram, Average Man Unplugged on both platforms. It's the email, Cash App tag. Also, check out the travel vlog channel. That is the link there. And also check out the music channel. The link is there. Got another mixtape dropping Black Friday. Passport Music Volume 5. Be on the lookout for that. And if you want to support the merch, that is the link to the merch. I don't know why they did that. That's weird. Oh man, let's see who we got up in here, bro. Man, how do you say that, brother? How do you say that, my guy? Vita Pick Jazz. What's going on, bro? I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Pooh Man 313, Demetrius, man, coming out of Chirac. Tiger 9511, what's up, bro? Shout out to my members, bro. Eternal Virtues, what's good, bro? Senor Hernandez, what's going on, my guy? A Joe named Mike, brother. That's some of my most popular music. So I don't get that there, but okay. You know, it ain't for everybody. What's up, Jermaine? Tehran, what's going on, brother? M6205. King Mar, what's up? Rose, what's going on, man? We got Houston in the building. I was actually thinking about going to Houston too, because somebody that I reacted to, um, she lives in Houston, but I ain't gonna have time to do it, bro. So might end up doing something else. Like I know I'm going to Vegas to link up with Jamal and my other moderator, Mrs. Dawn. She lives in Vegas. Shout out to my moderator, Antonio. Hit that like button. Saludos. All right, we got 32 watching, man. So I came across this. Oh yeah, shout out to Legion of Men. That's who it's from. Um, I tell you, man, I was glad I came across this because I'm really getting sick and tired. And I think the reason why these reasons get overlooked is because they can't be disputed. Because if a man tells you, like, yeah, I'm going overseas or I'm moving overseas because cost of living is cheaper and this is better and that is better, they can't really dispute any of that. So they pretty much hang their hat on the woman aspect of it. And they pretty much just try to lump any man that goes overseas or lives overseas, they automatically assume that he's a sex tourist. You got to be careful because y'all know YouTube is sensitive. But it's like, yeah, and this is a young guy too. So when I saw this, I was like, you know what? Definitely think I'm gonna go over this. And you want to know the crazy part about it, man? Like I said, bro, this brother is young. Smooth Jazz with a $20 super chat said, "Oh my God, my second time catching your live. Love watching all your content. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that so much." Kapun Kai. Let me make sure I got that up because I think that's what I need to do. I need to go to my settings and turn my notifications on for Cash App. I think that's the reason why I don't never hear them. But I'll be trying to make sure I got it up so that way I don't miss anybody. But yeah, man, wanted to share this with you guys because when I came across this, I was like, oh yeah, this is exactly what the people need to see right here. All right. And again, shout out to Legion of Men, man. Bo doing this thing over there in Romania. One of these days, I got to make my way to Romania. But I think I'll wait till it gets warm because, well, I'm guessing that would probably, if I did go, that would probably have to be like around July or August. I think that's probably like the hottest time of the year for them. Because even when I went to Germany at the end of July, it was still kind of cool. So I'm thinking August probably would be more fitting. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it.
Welcome back, tribe. Have an episode here from Jordan Green. I left the USA and I'm never moving back. Here's why. He's an American in Europe.
I know the title of this video probably seems a little bit extreme, and you're probably thinking or even commenting that I am simply in the honeymoon phase of this international move that I've made. And that simply couldn't be further from the truth. As a matter of fact, I am pretty much fully established here in the Netherlands. I have my residence permit. I've secured my DAFT visa, so I'm going to be here until March 2026.
And just so y'all know, Netherlands is not cheap. Not cheap whatsoever. And he still thinks it's better than America, just to put that in perspective.
I have my own bike. I have my Dutch bank accounts open with money in them, my debit cards, and I've even applied for health insurance. And on that note, that is the first reason why I will never, ever move back to the United States of America.
Health
insurance.
Now, based on what you hear about in comparison to other countries, if this is one of his reasons, I can totally understand it. It's a very valid reason. Like out here in Thailand, even out here in Thailand, if you don't have insurance and you pay for things out of pocket, it still ends up coming out in some cases cheaper than it would if you had insurance back in the United States. And Thailand has some of the best facilities, some of the best hospitals in the world. Think like out of all countries, they're ranked pretty high when it comes to healthcare.
If you didn't catch it earlier, I said that I am currently on the DAFT visa. And if you don't know what the DAFT visa is, the DAFT visa is essentially a visa specifically for not just Americans, but American entrepreneurs. So in other words, I am an entrepreneur. I don't work at a regular 9-to-5 job. I am a business owner, freelancer, whatever you want to call it. This right here, talking to this camera, is how I make the bulk of my income. Bearing that in mind, if I were to live in the United States of America, I would not have access to all of these health insurance plans that a lot of these companies provide to their employees, which means that I would have to come out of pocket.
Someone has a whole cow next to apartment blocks. That is so cool.
Pocket to pay the.
Yeah, when I went to Surin, and bruh, it was literally cows everywhere. Like some of them were even on the street, and you had to go around them or let them cross. Yes, it's crazy. Yeah, man. The things you see when you leave the United States, man, I tell you.
The full amount. Now, I don't have an exact concrete number for that, but from what I've heard, that could be anywhere from $400 a month to $2,000 a month plus for an entrepreneur to have health insurance.
Woo. And
for me personally, that just doesn't sit well with me, especially since the health insurance that I've chosen to get here in the Netherlands is 122 euros and 9.
See, that's actually really cheap because Switzerland is comparable to the United States in terms of cost. I believe it's slightly less the last time I checked. It's like 600 to 800 per person, but you get access to world-class healthcare in all of Switzerland. There's no in-out network bullshit. There's no having to get like third, fourth, fifth opinions or specialized hospitals where only a decent doctor would be there for whatever ailment you have. You got world-class facilities all over the place, and they have unlimited access for you. That's so different from the system in the United States. It's actually maddening because the amount that we pay to get insurance, and if you don't get it through your job, oh boy, does that hurt your wallet.
95.
Yeah, because I pay more than that myself, but $122, that's it. And we talking about the Netherlands, y'all, man. It's like this ain't like one of these, cheaper Latin countries or Asian countries, bro. Like this is Europe we talking about.
Cents per month. 122 euros and 95 cents per month.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I got pretty much the cheapest one you can possibly get. But the point is, as an entrepreneur, I will not have that option in the United States of America. Simply put, I just won't have that.
And think about this, guys. We say we have bloated healthcare. It costs us a ton of money, but how much is that cost due to the inefficiencies of a system? For example, that we don't have cheap healthcare like this with basic plans that at least cover, say, preventative care, routine checkups, and maybe some basic care on top of that, right? Imagine if every American always goes for their routine checkups and basic care so that they can catch all the diseases they have way before they metastasize in something maybe fatal or a chronic condition for life where they're going to have to pay into the system forever or be subsidized in some way by Medicare, Medicaid, and their age, which we are all paying into. So we have a bloated system that keeps people away from doctors when they should be going for routine care, which we could catch so early, nip the problem in the bud, and therefore lower our overall cost burden on our healthcare system by, God, who knows how many hundreds of billions of dollars, potentially trillions in the future. We spend the most in America and have the sickest first world country in the world. You will never see a country sicker than the United States among first world nations. When you travel around Western Europe, say Australia, Canada, all over that place, when you travel everywhere in developed societies, Americans are by far the sickest. Just looking at their bodies, you can tell an American across all other, for example, let's just say they're white Americans and they go to Western Europe on vacation. You can tell an American just by their bodies. That's insane.
Option.
Yeah, remember that video that I did of all them black people, mostly black women that went to Brazil? And Skylar was talking about how all the local women were in shock because they were like, damn, why are so many of these women overweight? Like, think about that, man. You think about how developed the United States is, yet we have some of the sickest people. A lot of people are on medication, a lot of overweight, a lot of obesity. In my opinion, it has a lot to do with our government, man. It's one of the reasons why Trump chose who he chose to control the FDA, because you got to think, you guys, that's another thing you're going to learn when you leave the country, man. When you try to go to certain places and get something to eat, and you learn that there are certain things that you cannot get over here in other countries because it's illegal in the United States. There are certain things that are illegal in other countries and not the United States for a reason. Part of the reason why is because some of this stuff that they're feeding us in the States is like slowly doing our bodies bad. Just keep it moving. Yeah, Craig. We got a lot of chemicals in our food that we shouldn't, that are actually illegal, that we should not have. But the reason why our government does this is because there's profit in keeping people sick. I'm like, that's how they work. I'm like, because why have a cure for everything when you can make more money keeping people sick? Yeah, that's a conversation a lot of people don't want to have, but that's the reason why I'm like, you got to think, man. y'all know why they doing that, man. These companies greedy, our government is greedy, and all they care about is currency and profits.
And the way that I got around this before was simply by kind of mooching off of my parents' health insurance. If you don't know, in the US, you're allowed to stay on your parents' health insurance plan until you're 26. But like I said earlier, my visa expires March 2026, which is coincidentally right around the time that I turned 26. Okay, March 2026. So
damn, so he only 26, bro. Gen Z, man. You know what? I gotta say, bro, Gen Z, bro, y'all lucky, bro. Y'all so far ahead of the game. You know what I mean? Especially due to content like this, bro. Like, man. It's wild, bro. 26. 26. It's a brother, it's another YouTuber out here. I think he friends with Travelversity. I see him all the time. I forgot his name. I want to say his name is Marcus. I'm like, that brother only like 23, 24, and he out here like living his best life. You know what I mean? He do pretty well for himself on YouTube too, man. Shout out to that brother. Let's get back into it.
that right there, just that alone, pretty much guarantees that I will never move back to the US. I hope you can hear me with all of these cars passing by because I'm posting this video. But just the health insurance alone, I mean, for an entrepreneur, it's pretty much nonsensical. Now, as far as the quality of the healthcare, I can't really speak on that because I don't have much experience with the US or the Netherlands as far as healthcare goes. I haven't been to a regular doctor's appointment since I was 14.
Care in the US has fallen off a cliff. My mom broke one of her legs, sprained the other one really badly. We went to go get x-rays. I explained to them which leg needed x-rays, where the pain was. They x-rayed the other leg. Came back in the waiting room, told us nothing was wrong, there's no break, and that we were just going to get a wrap on it and be on their way. And then we're like, you x-rayed the wrong leg. This is the one that's in severe pain. And the doctor goes, oh, radiologist did the wrong leg. Well, we're going to have to charge you for that now. They had to charge us extra to fix their mistake. I won't even tell you the rest of the story.
Wow.
And the thousands of dollars wasted by incompetence alone. America's healthcare is a fucking joke.
Wow.
I'm 24 years old. So I don't know. I can't speak on that. What I can say is that I'm willing to bet my future that the health insurance in the US is not 4 times or even 20 times better than what I'd receive here in the Netherlands. Plain and simple. Now, the next reason why I will never move back to the United States of America is politics. Now listen, before you comment under my video talking about liberal this, conservative that, I want you to know that personally, I'm impartial. I'm completely impartial, unbiased. You could say that I'm apolitical, if you will. At the time that I'm filming this, there's an election coming up. And truthfully, I don't care who wins because it has nothing to do with me. As a matter of fact, let me get off of the street so that you can hear me better. But yeah, I don't have any sort of preference as to who wins this presidential campaign.
And I need to say that too, because I know I've been covering this, and part of the reason why is because the algorithm is like begging for it, but it's showing in the views that I get whenever I do cover it. But I need to say this because somebody said this in the comments and it really pissed me off. And I've gone over this ad nauseum. Y'all, I do not vote. I did not care who won. I do not care who won, because at the end of the day, I still got to wake up and do what the fuck I got to do to make a way for myself. So does everybody else. Life does not stop just because the person that you wanted to become president did not become president. It didn't matter to me who won. It really don't. The only reason why it may seem like I'm a Trump supporter is because there has been a lot of manipulation and a lot of lies being said and told on the Democratic side of the party. And this is coming from somebody who historically, before I stopped voting, always voted Democrat. for the same reason why a lot of black people voted Democrat, due to a lot of brainwashing, peer pressure, and things of that nature. Like, just because I'm over here exposing truth and trying to tell people to think for themselves does not mean that I'm trying to tell people to vote for Trump or try to tell people to vote for Trump. I really didn't give a damn who y'all voted for. I really didn't give a damn who won. So I would ask politely, man, can y'all, I'm like, that person in particular, but I think it might have been 2 other people as well. Can y'all please try to say I'm a Trump supporter? Please. Because that shit is annoying. Anyway, let's get back into it.
Because I'm not going to be there. Okay, I do not care. Even if I was there, I probably wouldn't vote. Because what I've realized, and I don't want to make this video too political, but what I've realized is that politics are just a divisive mechanism. Okay, divide and conquer. Most classic, well-known strategy for controlling people that there is, and yet people still fall for it. That's all.
And that's why I've been covering it. That's exactly why I've been covering it. And then to make matters worse, they're over here. The party that's calling the other party divisive is the real divisive party. You can't sit over here and, as a Democrat, say that Republicans are being divisive, but your response to anybody that voted for Trump is calling them any kind of slur you can think of, which is divisive in itself. It's shit like that I'm trying to that I'm trying to like bring to people's eyes, man. Not telling you who to vote for. Ridiculous.
That's all I'm going to say on that. The politics are out of control. They're extremely divisive. And here in the Netherlands, I can't speak on other countries because I don't really know much about the politics of other countries. But here in the Netherlands, there aren't just 2 candidates for the prime minister position, which would be the equivalent of the president of the US. In the US, if you didn't know,
yeah, hey, guy incognito, I wasn't referring to you in particular. I was referring to what somebody said in one of the upload videos like a few days ago. Yeah, because somebody in the comments, man, just stand on business and say you're a Trump supporter. No, I'm not. I'm not a supporter of the system, period. Nah, you good, guy incognito, you good. But yeah, I'm not a supporter of the system at all. I've gone over that a couple of times. Why? You know. Yeah, I'm like, y'all want real RP content, bro. I tell you, bro. That's a rabbit hole some of y'all probably ain't ready to go down, because I know I wasn't. I'm like, I had to just stop looking. I had to just stop looking shit up. Felt like I was learning too much. When I started learning all about the secret societies and underground roads and underground cities, and they got underground shit sitting at certain airport hubs, and dude, it's a lot, bro. It's a lot. Let's keep it moving.
Oh, there are only 2 candidates, and you have to choose. There's one from the Democrat side, one from the Republican side. And like I said, I don't care who wins. I'm neither Democrat nor Republican. I personally am not going to vote. I'm not going to participate in that. I'm not going to let them get me caught up in all of this tomfoolery, for lack of a better term. Now, on the topic of politics, the next reason why I will never move back to the US is gun control. Now listen,
Safety.
Okay, again, I'm not going to relay my opinion because I don't.
Here's what most Americans think overseas, by the way. We're not anti-gun control. Or I should say we're not gun control, pro-gun control, whatever. We like guns, dude. We like guns just as much as the hardcore conservative. We don't like that the mentally ill people and the access to guns is so easy. We don't like that we have a mental health crisis. And because we live in a society where guns are our Second Amendment right, that these people can get them with no background check, no psychological evals, nothing. And so we have public tragedies that shouldn't be happening, and they keep happening and keep increasing. They're becoming more common. That's the scary part, that you could send your kid to school and they might not come back, that you could go to the mall and you might not come back, that you could go watch a movie and something could happen, sitting down at a restaurant eating, who knows, going to church. All of these have happened in America very recently.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in most of these countries.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about some of the Western European countries where they have terrorist issues there too and stuff, mass stabbings and crazy stuff like that. But let's just say here in Eastern Europe, a public tragedy like that happening is only something you watch on the news and you're horrified to see. You do feel at ease when you're in a society that's far more safer than the craziness of the United States. And the reason I say this is because, 60, 70, 80 years ago, access to guns was the same, but we didn't have public tragedies like this. We have a measured decrease in mental health and well-being, which is causing issues when people have access to weapons. The issue isn't to keep weapons away from people, because that is our right in our country as Americans. The issue is, how do we fix the mental health crisis? And that's something no one will address. Democrats don't address it because it gives them something to run on every single campaign. When a tragedy happens, they'll just point in your face and you see, we have to limit guns. And then conservatives get another one too. See, they're trying to take away your freedom and make a tyrannical government. So each side is emboldened by the public tragedies because they could dig their heels into their positions and make sure their constituents vote in line with everything. It's pathetic, man. This is why he says it's a mechanism of division, because they could have fixed all these problems if they really wanted to. But your kids, you, your wife, your girlfriend, your parents, somebody will die eventually, unfortunately, or you may know of somebody that was in a public school event. And the next one, when will it be? Who knows, guys, but it'll probably be in the next month or two. They're very common occurrences in the United States. It's sad. And those are the ones that are just getting reported on. Because if you're in the hood and something happens there where 3, 4, 5 get shot up, it's not national news. It's just whatever. Yeah.
But we have.
And I just want to say, because coming from somebody who's been to a few different countries now, there really is no comparison, bro. Like, matter of fact, I'll give you 2 examples. Because, a lot of people talk about how dangerous Colombia is. Bro, when I went to Colombia, I remember going to the mall. And when I tell you, it was security walking around with guns. Like legit. I think they might have been baby sawed-offs. I can't remember. That blew my mind. I'm like, okay. I don't gotta worry about anything happening in this mall, because it was a pretty big size mall. It was the first time I went to Barranquilla. And I'm over here. I walked in. I'm like my chin about hit the floor. I'm like, security got guns in this bitch. I'm over here. I was kind of low key paranoid, but I'm like, oh, well, I'm good. I'm like, ain't nobody gonna try shit in here, because if you do, you gonna get shot the hell up. And then when you in the Philippines, dude, or even here in Thailand, everywhere you go, security everywhere. Now they're not armed like the ones in Colombia, but I'm just saying it's completely different. And I think because these other countries have that kind of security set up in a lot of different public places, I think that's one of the main reasons why you don't hear these kind of incidents happening in other countries compared to the United States. But let's keep it moving.
Have an opinion on this matter. I can see how both sides have credible arguments, credible claims as to why gun control should be one way or another. What I will do is I will assess the facts. Okay, and here are the facts. Here in the Netherlands, there are not mass shootings. It just doesn't happen here. Now, that's not to say that it doesn't happen in any country, but
different.
For most of the Western developed world, the US is far and away the country with the most mass shootings. Now, why is that? I don't know. You could say it's a gun problem. You could say it's a mental health problem. Doesn't really matter to me. All I know is that it happens. And I'm going to share a quick little story. I'm from the DFW area, the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. And before I left Texas, back in 2022, at the end of 2022, to go to LA for a few months. I lived in this city called Allen, Texas. Now, Allen, Texas is one of the...
Hold on, we got a super chat, you guys. Chelsea with the $9.99 super chat says, I felt way safer when I was on my trip in Thailand than I ever did in the States. Take that how you will. Bruh, I'm in Thailand. You already know I agree with you, bruh. Kapung Ka. Thank you so much. I'm trying to tell them, bro. Like, dude, Thailand, you can walk, bro. Thailand, you can walk down a dark alley 3, 4 in the morning, bro. You ain't got nothing to worry about. Like, Thailand is that safe, bro. Like, I've done this in a video, and I think I mentioned this. Thailand is so safe that if you had I've seen people leave their keys and a phone at their motorbike after they go in the store. Like that, like leaving your keys in your motorbike is very, very common out here, y'all. Very common. You know what I mean? If you sitting at a table and you leave your stuff at the table, ain't nobody gonna steal your shit. Like Thailand is like that, bro. It's really like that. And one of the reasons why is because in their religion, stealing is so frowned upon. And y'all know the jails here ain't no hoe. So yeah, see. So look, Thailand super safe. You said see? Yeah, bro. He said he can't walk around nowhere with the blicky. I'm like, yeah, when I was in Barranquilla, I felt safe. I was cool. I mean, I think here's the thing, man. I think when it comes to Colombia, I think it's just certain guys, they just don't know how to move, or they just ending up in spots where they really shouldn't go, man. And you know, a lot of that is just tied to the women, but I don't know. Yeah, Jermaine, bro. It is very common, bro. They will leave their keys in their motorbike, bro. Go in 7-Eleven, grab a few things, come back out. All they shit still sitting at their bike, bro. And they keep it and they keep it pushing, bro. I'm trying to tell y'all, bro. Thailand is so different, bro. That's why I love Thailand, man. It's just so stress-free out here, man. It really is. That's why I call it paradise, bro. Yeah, bro. When it comes to Colombia, you just gotta know how to move. I'm gonna go back to Colombia next year, bro. I'm gonna go because I was gonna go in February, which depending on how, I don't know. Because I think I'm gonna push it back. I think I'm gonna push back going to Colombia during the summer because I'm going to Mexico in July to link up with my family. That'll be a good way for me to see family and friends after being gone for like 6-7 months without having to come back to the States, because we're going to Tulum, Mexico in July. I think like the end of July. I have to reach out to my mom and make sure I get the correct dates, but I'm going back home Tuesday anyway. So me and her had that conversation. Yeah, that's why I wanted to go, because I was going to go back to Barranquilla for Carnival, man. Because I was supposed to go back this year, but didn't go. But then I was going to go in 2025. But due to how crazy things done got in Colombia, man, with the robins and the deletions, I'm like, let me put it off till summer and let me see how 2025 plays out in Colombia, see if things kind of calm down a little bit. Because I was talking to Shorty that I was dating in Medellin, and she's like, bro, she ready for me to come back. But I'm over here telling her, like, man, like, babe, like, it's a lot of bullshit going. I'll come and meet you at the airport again, and yeah, I'll make sure you say, like, bro. Now she did look out though, because she was at the airport waiting on me. I was like, oh shit, like, damn, you really here? Like, okay. So Colombia, we'll be back in Colombia in the future, man. That'll give me more time to try to continue to improve my Spanish. But let's get back into it.
safest cities that you could possibly live in. I mean, it is truly one of the safest cities you could be in. I'm talking about people walk their dogs at 2 a.m. Okay, it's that kind of city. It's the type of city that people want to raise their children in and send them to the public schools, etc. A city where they have literally a $60 million stadium for the high school football team.
Damn.
Okay?
Damn.
For the high school football team, a $60 million stadium. Now, I'm saying this to say that this is the last place that you would expect anything like that to happen. And yet that is exactly what happened a little over a year ago. If you didn't know, May of 2023, there was a mass shooting at this mall called the Allen Outlets Mall, which is a mall that I lived probably 5 minutes away from. Okay, a 5-minute drive. Not only that, I went there quite often. My parents went there at least once or twice a month. And just to see it happen so close in a place like that, where you would just never expect any sort of violent encounters like that to happen. I mean, it lets you know that you're really not safe anywhere. You're really not safe anywhere in the US. If you're not safe in Allen, you're not safe anywhere. And I didn't realize how much tension I was constantly carrying based on the threat of a mass shooting or something similar to that until I got here and I realized that it's literally not a threat. It just doesn't happen here. Now, that's not to say that nothing bad happens in the Netherlands. There is crime. There's crime everywhere in the world. You can't get away from that. But statistically speaking, you are much less likely to get caught in a mass shooting here in the Netherlands than you are in the United States. Now, a big part of why violence is so much more prevalent in the US is because of economic inequality, which is the next reason why I will never move back to the US. The US has economic inequality to an extent that I don't think any other truly developed nation experiences. Now, I'm not going to get into the reasons why this is because truthfully, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I'm 24. I don't have all the answers. I'm not running for president. Like I said, I'm not even voting because I'm not going to be there. But if you've been to the US and if you've been to a big city in particular, like Los Angeles, you know that the economic inequality is unfathomable. Compared to what you see out here in the Netherlands, it is completely unfathomable. And I bring up LA as an example because, like I said, I lived there, or I wouldn't say I lived there. I stayed there for a little under 3 months, and I got a chance to see how you could have a sidewalk like this, for example, be lined up with tents.
That's
okay, lined up with tents. Not because people were camping. No, because people had nowhere else to live. And that's if you were lucky.
I remember when I was in Phoenix, when I was in Atlanta, we already all know about Los Angeles, just traveling all over the United States, man. It's sad to see that every underpass, overpass, exit, bridge, Jesus Christ, the corner of some streets and alleys just...
Hold on. Because matter of fact, Passport Blueprint lives in Arizona. I don't know if he's watching or not, but damn, I was hoping he was watching. I don't think he's watching, but because I can't remember if he's in Phoenix or Scottsdale. But I wonder if he's been seeing that where he's from too.
Lined up with tent after tent after tent with the most miserable, sad-looking people, drug addicted, mentally unwell. The city's not doing anything but just sweeping them under the rug, per se, and ignoring the whole area while they keep multiplying in numbers. A couple of them have jobs. They go to work and they just can't afford to live anywhere because, you know, the cost of living has gotten so out of control. And then that's just the people in the tents. Then you had these cars that were just parked right in these alleyways, or campers, these little baby campers where people were just sleeping in their cars where their windows were covered up with like nylon and stuff. Or the parking lots of Walmart, you know, would have little corners and pockets where there was just 6, 7, 8 cars, you know, and they would just rotate where they would sleep there in the parking lots, man. It's fucking insane to see. We're in the most powerful, wealthiest, most decadent country in the world. We can print money. We're the world reserve currency. We can print fucking infinite money. and just solve this issue just like that. Just like that. Snap of your finger. How much does it cost to eliminate homelessness? Doesn't matter. We can just print that fucking money. People are like, inflation, inflation. The cost to eradicate homelessness is far less than what we've printed in the past. I don't know. Or how much we've sent Ukraine or all this shit, dude. It's not profitable. We don't make money off making Americans healthier, making society run better. All right. If something's broken, you have an opportunity to come in and fix it. For a cost, I'm going to have to charge you. That's just the American motto, dude. It's take. Step, step, step. Run over people and get yours. Everybody else can get fucked. And when you go into these other countries where things run a little better, you get to see what capitalism is supposed to look like. You get to see what good health insurance is supposed to look like. You get to see like corruption checked a bit. Like he's living in the Netherlands. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous there. Look at it. He's not worried about getting stabbed. Some dude out of the bushes coming through to fucking have a knife in his hand or a gun in his hand, telling him, give me your chain, give me your wallet, give me your phone. You know, like some dude doing the zombie walk on his ass. Nothing, man. You're not going to see that stuff in other parts of the world. Now, no, like you said, nowhere is perfect. You go to the downtown in some of these countries, like, sure. Especially look at Sweden, what happened with mass migration policies that backfired on Western Europe. Yeah. They turned into some like third world hellscapes on certain parts of the city. But the countryside is still nice. The regional cities are still beautiful. The difference is it's inescapable in America.
There were people who were sleeping on the ground, at the beach, etc. Okay, I've seen some people who are probably never going to recover from the situation that they're in. And I don't say that to be pessimistic. I say that as...
Yeah, I live in Bucharest, guys, in Romania. And there is a massive park by my house, one of the biggest ones in the city. And just imagine you live in a, capital of your state, and you go to the largest park there in the center of the city or thereabouts. Okay, not some nice, rich, bougie park somewhere off to the side. In town, in the city, I have not seen one homeless person. My park is filled with kids, with families, carts being pushed, strollers everywhere, families doing picnics, cool music playing, little stands selling food, pops, ice cream, sodas, all that stuff. There's little balloons, little toys, kids are riding tricycles, laughter of young children. That's the energy you have, the ambiance here that you get. It's a very family-oriented society. At least it feels that way in the parks. You go to American Park in a big city, okay, not in the rich neighborhoods, just your big public park in a city center. How many homeless people are you going to see? How many tents are you going to see? I remember the park by my house had hypodermic needles my dogs almost stepped in. Hypodermic needles, and I was on a good side of town with a fairly corded off park, you could say, that was hidden in a neighborhood that was already nice, with like gated communities. So this park was basically for them. And you had hypodermic needles and syringes everywhere. And the park was dead for obvious reasons. It would be like one older lady walking her dog.
Damn, does anybody know where the hell Bo was staying at in the United States? That sounds wild as hell. Oh, shit. Oh yeah, I know all about Kensington Avenue in Philadelphia. Where that's zombie land, bro.
And that's it. That's all you would see. Sterile.
An objective observation.
Yeah.
And what makes it even more striking is the fact that right around the corner from these sidewalks lined with tents are mansions in the hills. Mansions, penthouses, luxurious apartments.
What?
That's crazy.
People driving Rolls-Royce Cullinans and Ferraris, and having people standing at the stoplight with the cardboard saying, I need help feeding my kids. And you don't know if they're actually in a position where they need to feed their children or if they're just strung out on drugs. You don't know. But the point is, I don't see that here. I just don't see it. That's not to say that nobody struggles with money here. Okay, that is definitely not true. There are people struggling with money everywhere in the world. And as a matter of fact, I believe the US is the wealthiest nation, but there are large portions of the US where you just would never know. You would never know, because truthfully, the quality of life for most people is better here. It just is for most people. Did
you guys know that America has third world conditions in the Appalachians? There is, I believe, an international organization that came and checked on whatever their metrics they used for quality of life, standard of living, and all that other shit. and they designated the Appalachians as having third world conditions. Look this up. Google it, guys. It's crazy. So you can technically call America a third world nation. That's what's crazy. Imagine you're the most powerful empire on the planet, and there are amongst you citizens living in third world conditions. That's insane to think about.
The top 1%, if you have one of those types of jobs, those high-end corporate jobs where you have those health insurance benefits and you're getting paid $500,000 a year, then sure, you probably would have a better life in the US. But for the majority of people, it's just not the case. The economic inequality is absolutely mind-blowing. And if you haven't
I don't know about you guys, but my family couldn't afford health insurance. And I think most of you probably couldn't afford health insurance. And in America, we never saw the doctor unless it was like life or death. You know, my dad, the only time he ever went to the doctors when he was like working on a car. He was hitting something like a chisel with a hammer. The head of the hammer chipped off and it went underneath his knuckle. So he had to go get surgery to remove the chip that had embedded itself under. He just drove himself to the hospital. I remember I was playing video games. There was a teenager and he comes in the room. He's like, hey, I just had an accident. I can see like, skin is broken. There's blood. And then underneath, he's like, the hammer chipped and a piece of metal, a metal shard is literally underneath his knuckle. He just drove himself to the hospital. I'm like, okay, that's America for you. Had to pay an ass ton just to fix that problem. Could have bankrupted the family. My uncle just had a stent put in his heart because, after a couple of injections of some magic sauce, he ended up having a heart attack failure, whatever you want to call it. And luckily, last minute, somebody called the ambulance, saved him, but he was in the hospital for I don't know how many days, got a stent put in there. He's $1 million in debt. Yeah. Good old myocarditis. And those are just stories in my family alone. I got stories about everybody's family. I mean, all your friends just ask what it's like dealing with healthcare in America when you don't have insurance. It's insane.
Left the US to see how other parts of the world, especially the developed world, are living, then you just don't realize how crazy it actually is. Now, the next reason why I will never move back to the US is the urban planning. The urban planning. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into this as far as the zoning laws and everything that entails because I'm not an urban planner. And
the car-centric culture of America somewhat ruined it. Yes, it's a big place and you need a car to get around, but the city planning sucks. The urban, the metro areas are shit. They're all dependent on cars. Here, I can walk out of my place. I can go to a hospital, to a pharmacy, to multiple grocery stores, to multiple restaurants, to parks with lakes, whatever, anything, movie theaters, malls, whatever. It's all within walking distance, probably 10 minutes of walking, all within the vicinity.
This is one of the reasons why I love Thailand so much, because the way their cities are set up, you can get just about anything that you need walking out the door, and you can walk in any direction for about 5 to 10 minutes, and you're probably going to pass up a 7-Eleven or a Tops. You're going to pass up multiple restaurants. You're more than likely going to end up passing up a pharmacy, dispensary, if you're 420 friendly. And if you need to go to the supermarket, more than likely you'll probably more than likely find one within a 10 to 15 minute bike ride or, taxi, whatever the case may be. But I've noticed this, and it seems to be the case in a lot of Asian countries. They set these cities up to where it's convenient for the people. And this is one of the reasons why, in my opinion, I think these other countries care about their people more than the United States. Because most places in the United States, you need a car if you want to be able to get around the way you want to get around. And not to mention, transportation in these other countries, especially here in Thailand, is so cheap. It's so inexpensive.
It's amazing to be able to go grab a coffee. The cafe culture that Europe has that Americans laud when they come over here. They do funny memes on it on the internet where it's like, showing you going to get a coffee, sitting by one of those beautiful like cobblestone lined terraces in those little alleys and tight streets that Europe has. Just people watching, enjoying a good cup of coffee. It's so good. doesn't taste like the battery acid in America with like a fresh croissant, and the ingredients aren't going to make you fat and feel like shit. And then you
hold on. Hey, what part of Barranquilla did you stay at when you went there? Because I gotta admit, like where I was staying at the couple times I went there weren't really the best conditions. But next time that I go, I'm gonna make sure I stay on the north side. Yeah, in order to get the best conditions in the nicer area of Barranquilla, you got to stay on the north side. Because if you were, because I noticed you put Barranquilla / Soledad, because Soledad is south of Barranquilla, and if you were close to Soledad, then you were definitely in the lower tier part of Barranquilla, because the southern part of Barranquilla is what they call Strata 1, and you go all the way up to the north side of Barranquilla, that's like Strata 5. The higher the strata, the nicer it is. But yeah, because when I go back, I'm definitely staying north side. But I'm making more money now than I was the first couple times I went to Barranquilla, so that's how we'll do. Yeah, real more. Oh, okay. So you was staying in a nice part. Oh, okay. Got you. It's funny you said that, because one of the girls that I was dating in Barranquilla, she's from Soledad too. Let's keep it moving.
you come to America and it's like the cafe culture is like pulling up to a Starbucks, sitting outside there where there's a few seats to stare at an empty parking lot. And it's so depressing. And that's the reality, man. Urban planning is not made for walkable cities in the United States, unfortunately. That's the last thing on their mind when they're planning.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really know enough about it to comment on it. But what I can do, once again, is I can simply share my objective observations. I'm walking down this sidewalk, which sort of doubles as a bike path. You can see somebody riding their bike. And these are everywhere. These are absolutely everywhere.
I noticed the same thing in Germany too. When I was walking, and that's how I know the fitness culture is pretty high in Germany too. Because like these same kind of paths that he's on now, I saw those everywhere when I was in Germany. Let's keep it moving.
Here in the Netherlands, in most places, okay, I do not live in a big city by any means. As a matter of fact, I won't say the city that I live in, but I do live in Noord-Brabant, which is kind of like the American equivalent of Kansas or something. Okay, we're talking maybe the Midwest, not a place where there are many big cities. And you do not need a car here. And I can't really fully articulate. I have to stop walking so I can fully get this point across to you. I can't articulate how big of a difference that actually makes in day-to-day life, not needing a car. Now, you might be thinking, well, Jordan, I like driving. Guess what? I like driving too. The key is you don't have to drive. You can still choose to drive because there are, as a matter of fact, let me show you. There are cars. Okay, you can see there are cars. There are roads. People drive. People can drive. And as a matter of fact, the roads and the general infrastructure are better. They are better here than they are anywhere that I've seen in the US. But if you're one of those people who doesn't like to drive, if you prefer to not get caught in traffic on the 405 in LA, then you can get around purely by bike and public transportation. Some people have these scooters. You saw one earlier in the video. They're really, really loud for absolutely no reason, but they're there. Again, you have the bikes. You can walk. I see people rollerblading. You can ride a longboard, a skateboard. All of this is absolutely extraordinary as somebody who's not just from the US, but from Texas, the DFW area, which is probably the car capital of the country, where you literally cannot function as an adult if you don't have access to a car. You just can't function. There aren't any buses to take you from the suburbs to the city. It just doesn't exist. You have the DART rail. It's not really that extensive. It doesn't really take you where you need to go.
Yeah, public transport in America is like a national tragedy. It's when you compare it to other countries in Europe, it's unbelievable.
And truthfully, like I said, as an adult, as a fully grown adult, it's going to be very, very exceedingly difficult to function without a car, which can make it difficult to get a job if you choose to work at a job or put yourself in positions to earn money. Now, of course, you can make money online and then you don't need a car, but hey, not everyone wants to do that. So the point is, I believe that the way that these cities are structured in the US, the inaccessibility to opportunities without having a literal 10, 20, $30,000 machine can put you in a position where you simply can't get out of your financial turmoil. And to me, listen, I'm all for accountability. I'm all for making better choices. Again, we all have the opportunity to earn money online. I'm living proof of that. But it's just not really fair. It's really just not fair, if I'm being honest. And that's just my personal take on it. You might disagree, but if you visit the Netherlands, you will see for yourself that the urban planning is absolutely extraordinary. However much the civil engineers, the urban planners, however much those people are making here, they need to be making about double or triple that. They should be making no less than $300,000 a year because the quality and the thoughtfulness of the infrastructure here is unlike anything that I've personally ever seen. But the Netherlands isn't the only place like this, by the way. I've also been to Spain. I've been to Switzerland. If you go to some of my older videos, you can see where I visited those places. And they shared a lot of the same qualities. I don't know what this smell is. I'm smelling something that's assaulting my nostrils right now. It's diabolical. I don't even know where I am right now. Don't know how to get back. But that's besides the point. The urban planning makes a big difference as far as the accessibility to opportunities and the general quality of life. Okay, you can see right here, this street, you have these bike lanes. These aren't really my favorite types of bike lanes because, I don't know, they make me a little bit nervous, but it's still better
Damn, look how clean that look, y'all. That's crazy.
than what we have in the US. Okay, at least there's something. But if you want to know more about the urban planning in the US versus the Netherlands or
Let's see. The essential difference between US and the EU, in my opinion, is that the US is a much more nervous and aggressive society. You definitely feel that because you can lose everything within a day: your job, your house, your income, your pension, your healthcare, etc. While in the Netherlands, we always have a social safety net that allows you to readjust without losing all. And that shows in the daily behavior of the people. Yeah, dude, the nervous, squirrely energy Americans have, you definitely notice it when you come back home. Like the mean mugging, the always looking angry, always in a rush, always stressed.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, after this election, I think that's gonna be my biggest concern when I come back home is getting the nasty stares from women because they probably thought that they probably over here thinking I voted for Trump. Have any of y'all been experiencing that after the election? Let me know in the chat, man.
It's something, that's why I said, like, when I came out here, it's just so much more relaxed. Like, people are more present in the moment. It seems like time is slower here, but that's just because I guess they feel safer, more secure. They have more control over their lives. They're not one accident away from losing everything. One of the best things I love about Europe is public transport. It's wonderful, and you walk more. I came to live in Madrid, Spain when I was 26. I'm now almost 63, and it's totally safe to say I'll never move back to the US. That doesn't mean that I don't love the country where I was born and raised. In fact, I probably love it more because I can be more objective about it. However, for the reasons you stated and others, I feel the same way you do. Most Americans have no understanding that the standard of living in other Western countries is considerably higher for the average person. I could talk or write about it all day, but I just wanted you to know that you're not alone in your sentiment. Yep. The American dream is to simply leave America. He's absolutely right. I've lived in Germany for 4 years. It's so different in a good way. I'm from Alabama. By leaving this country, for the time I did, it gave me a wake-up call. Us Americans think we're living the dream. No, we are fooled. There you go, man. I'm from Fort Wayne, Indiana. There was a shooting at a Kroger here not too long ago. Around the beginning of the year. Crazy thing is, I knew the shooter. I worked with him at an overnight Walmart job for a few months before I ended up quitting. It's crazy to think he could have potentially done that to us while at work. We were both stoners, so we took smoke breaks in my car and all. It's crazy out here, man. I'm glad you're out of this crazy country and doing well. Jesus. Born in the UK, and I always thought I wanted to live in the US until I visited. I was 24 at the time and saw everything you described and quickly changed my mind. You should add a food to your list. The GMO chemical foods are making people sick. Yep.
You know it's bad when somebody from the UK comes here and comes to the United States and said, nah, I'm good. We're right back.
Literally being poisoned in America. I moved from LA to Germany. I go to the Netherlands quite often, and the people are some of the friendliest I've ever met and have been in many different cities there. It's crazy you mentioned the Allen Mall shooting. My cousin lives there. There you go. There you go. See, everybody, man, it's crazy. Look at this. Look at this chick. I moved to the US from Ukraine, temporary, to stay safe and learn English. And oh my God, I hate it here. What in the world? You're from an active war zone and you still don't like the US?
Yeah, you know that's bad. Damn. She literally came to the United States to learn English and stay safe and get out of that war zone, and she don't even like it here. Whew.
What the hell? Anyways, thoughts on this episode for the boys that are.
Yo, man, shout out to Bo. That's wild, y'all. Damn. All them people in the comments sharing that brother sentiment, like, yeah, man, I'm good. Came to visit and said, no, I'm good. I don't want to live here. Well, I wanted to see because yeah, I'm like, yeah, I want to visit Barcelona too. Said no extra hostility. Okay. You said they hate me. I wear my Trump 2024 Take America Back hat everywhere. Damn. Oh, I know they be looking at you mad, bruh. Oh my God. Said Sharkeisha's giving me mean looks more than ever. Wow. Tiger, he said he been experiencing that too. Said wearing my, oh man, y'all wild, bruh. Said women in the States. So, oh my God. See, this is why this is one of the things that I was concerned about coming back, man. I'm like, damn, I'm coming back after this election and they still over here crashing out about this shit. Like, I don't want no women over here looking at me crazy, man. Like shit, I'm like, man, I'm like, I don't even vote anymore, man. Like, don't look at me sideways. What's good, Tim? Said, nah, none of that. Just a lot of black women very surprised and giving the side eye to white women. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess considering most black men still voted Democrat, I guess they finally decided, well, we can't point the finger at the black men because they did what we wanted them to do. I swear, man, black women, I truly think American black women are the only women on the planet that sit over here and bitch and complain about men not doing what they want to do, but then bitch and complain about black men not leading at the same time. Like, do y'all not see how fucking hypocritical that is? Black men don't know how to lead, but I'm like, but all y'all want black men to do is what the fuck y'all want to do. But y'all want them to lead, though. Okay. Y'all motherfuckers don't want no damn leaders. Y'all just want men to pay for shit because y'all don't want to spend y'all own damn money. Greedy motherfucker. I done had a whole damn side rant over here, man. Don't mind me, y'all. Oh, man. When am I going back to Germany? I don't know, man. I know if and when I do go back to Germany, more than likely, I'll probably go to one of the bigger cities, probably like Frankfurt, something like that. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I'm holding off on Spain, because I know I've been hearing the rumblings about the locals there. Yeah, they're upset because rent is getting harder and harder to afford rent out there due to um, a lot of Airbnb, a lot of people buying out places for Airbnbs. Yeah, seriously, bro. Seriously, if it's one thing that this election showed is that. Yeah, bro. Like, dude, I mean, you seen all the videos that I've been coming across of people over here saying they ain't going to Thanksgiving or they staying home because this is wild, man. Let me tell y'all something. My mom and my aunt voted for Kamala, and they know that I don't vote, and they know that I'm not. It's like, you want to know what's funny, because I said this before. If I did vote this, if I was gonna vote, I would have voted independent. I'm like just to be different. But considering where our country is at right now, there was no way in hell you could get me to vote for Kamala. There's just no way in hell. Especially when you started bringing out all these celebrities for endorsements and shit. Then it's like, oh yeah, I'm good on you. I'm good. I'm like, it kind of came off. It kind of came off like you was trying to buy my vote, or I don't know. It was just, that shit was just weird. But that's shitty, bro. Like, people don't want to spend time with their family just because of who they voted for. That's wild, man. Especially Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving is supposed to be, what I mean, one of the, is the day to come together and, eat, mingle with your people and talk about what you're grateful for. And one of the things we should all be grateful for is family. And it sucks that they're letting an election come in between that. But like the brother said in the chat, it really goes to show you how mentally unstable the United States is. That's just wild. Like, that should not be happening. Anyway, we got 71 watching, man. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here because I gotta get started on content for tomorrow for you guys, and I gotta get it done and up out the way early. Well, probably not as early. I mean, today is the last day of Rolling Loud, but to be honest with you, there's really only two artists that I really care to see, and that's Gunna and Playboy Cardi. Outside of that, everybody else on the lineup, I don't really care for. Uh, Last night was dope though. Wiz Khalifa, Lil Wayne, DJ Snake, French Montana, NLE, Chopper. I would say last night's lineup was probably the best lineup out of all 3 days. I'm a huge Wiz Khalifa and Lil Wayne fan, so seeing them was really dope. Had a bit of a scare though, because the girl that I came with, she ended up like passing out on me. I'm like, I had to catch her before she fell on the floor. I was like, oh shit. But she's okay. She's doing fine. According to her, she said she ain't drinking vodka anymore. I'm like, I thought it was because she hit the weed with me, but according to her, it wasn't the weed, it was the vodka that bothered her. But I don't know. Anyway, this will officially be the last live show during my stint in Thailand. I go back home Tuesday. I'm only going to be back in the States for a month, y'all. So if there's anything y'all do know, this time goes by real fast, because last time I went back home, it was for 2 months and it felt like it went by like that. but within those 2 months, I went to Cleveland, Chicago, and Tennessee. So, oh yeah, and I don't know how I keep forgetting this, but I'm actually going. I'm going to Vegas to link up with Jamal and my moderator. I think both of them are moderators actually. Mrs. Don, she actually lives in Vegas with her husband. And Jamal, he's going out because he had planned on going out there for a while anyway. So we're gonna go out there and link up with them. And I may be meeting somebody else while I'm out there as well. So we'll see how that goes. I'm really looking forward to that because it's gonna be my first time in Vegas. And I'm gonna vlog it on the channel just like I would anywhere else I travel to. But yeah, man. So the next live shows, we'll be back at home base for a month, a little while, and then we're gonna come right back out here. And in the meantime, I'm gonna try to figure out my travel schedule for 2025. Me and Passport Blueprint plan on doing another collaboration. I think he's gonna come out here to Thailand. Probably Koh Samui. But as far as everything else, I'm trying to figure out my schedule because I'm definitely trying to get some new countries in the mix. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. Shout out to my moderators. Shout out to everybody that sent the super chat support. Appreciate you guys. Much love. And until next time, you guys, deuces. Y'all know how we ride out when we fly out.